Vain traditions, pagan, Holy-Daze, or Holy-Daze. One of the most obvious links to paganism that no one can deny is the celebration of pagan Holy-Daze, or as many call holidays. The majority of Christians will acknowledge the pagan roots and elements of Christmas and Easter, yet still continue to celebrate them with enthusiasm while ignoring the festivals Yahuwah commanded. Ezekiel 11:12. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah, for you have not walked in my laws, nor executed my right rulings, but have done according to the rulings of the Gentiles, which are all around you. Why would the world want to celebrate anything to do with Yahusha? He said himself that the world would hate him. John 15:18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. The world hates him because he exposes the evil hearts of men. John 7:7. It is impossible for the world to hate you, but it hates me because I bear witness of it. That's its works are wicked. The obvious answer is the world doesn't celebrate Yahusha because Xmas has absolutely nothing to do with him. The evergreen tree. Why do we adorn a tree with gold and silver balls and put presents under it when Scripture commands not to do this? Jeremiah 10:2-4. Thus said Yahuwah, do not learn the way of the Gentiles, and do not be awed by the signs of the Shamayim, heaven, for the Gentiles are awed by them. For the prescribed customs of these peoples are worthless. For one cuts a tree from the forest, work for the hands of a craftsman with a cutting tool. They adorn it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers so that it does not topple. Pagan religions throughout the world have worshipped trees. From the earliest of times, the Egyptians erected a tree as a phallic symbol of the sun god Ra, and offered their sacrifices and gifts to him under the tree, while the Babylonians worshipped the tree of life. The evergreen tree has religiously been regarded as a symbol of the essence of life because it is always green, and was regarded as the male phallic symbol in fertility worship since the earliest of times. Together with the tree, the wreath was a symbol of the female, you know what part down there. In Scripture, we read the warning of following the example of the idol worshiping. Ezekiel 6:13. Their idols all around their altars, on every high hill, on all the mountaintops, under every green tree, and under every thick oak, wherever they offered sweet incense to all their idols. The star on the top of the Christmas tree, the symbol of a five-pointed star, has been used as the representation of the sun god. The sun is a star for millennia, and many people put a star atop their tree, believing it to be the star that led three wise men to Yahusha. Ignorance of the Scriptures. The astronomers, Scripture doesn't mention a number, didn't arrive till approximately 2 years after his birth. Matthew 2:16. Why December 25th? Nowhere in Scripture do we find any reference to the date of Yahusha's birth. The one thing Scripture mentions is shepherds watching flocks of sheep at night in Luke 2:8, something that's not done during the cold winters in Israel. It was more likely autumn. Most in the Western world do not realize that December 25th is the birth date of Tammuz. the Babylonian sun god, nor that it's the birthday of the Egyptian sun god Ra. In 168 BCE, Antiochus Epiphanes occupied Jerusalem and erected a statue of Zeus in the temple, claiming Zeus was God on Zeus's birthday, December 25th. When Rome conquered Persia, the Romans adopted the worship of Mithra, the Persian version of the Babylonian Tammuz, using the same symbol, the Babylonian Tau, T-A-U, or cross. And when they conquered Jerusalem, they hung Yahudim, patriots, on the cross of Mithra as sacrifices to the Roman sun god, who was born on, you guessed it, December 25th. Read about Tammuz being an abomination in Ezekiel 8. Even the early pilgrims to the Americas refused to celebrate Christmas because they knew of its pagan origins. The Catholic link. The Catholic institution practices a blasphemy known as the Mass, where the sacrifice that Yahusha made is supposedly repeated. When the church celebrates the Eucharist, she commemorates Christ's Passover, and it is made present as often as sacrifice of the cross by which Christ has been sacrificed is celebrated on the altar. The work of our redemption is carried out. This is Catholic Catechism, page 343, number 1364. This is where the name Christ Mass comes from, and therefore the name of the Holy-Day holiday itself is abhorrent. This is blatant blasphemy. The scriptures state in Hebrews 10:12, but he, Yahusha, having offered one slaughter offering for sins for all time, he sat down at the right hand of Yahuwah. Why do you celebrate Christmas? A large number of Christians continue to honor this celebration even though they know that some or all of the truth about this celebration. They respond that they do it to honor God, or that they make it a festival for Him. This is actually a familiar story, and in doing so, we make ourselves as big a bunch of sinners as those Israelites that rebelled in the wilderness. Exodus 32, 3-5. And all the people took off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And he took this from their hand, and he formed it with an engraving tool and made a molded calf. And they said, "This is your mighty one, O Yisrael, that brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt." And Aaron saw and built an altar before it, and Aaron called out and said, "Tomorrow is a festival to Yahuwah." Now, ask yourself the same question about the pagan Xmas, Christmas, you have attempted to call his festival. Is your mind focused on Yahusha, his life, ministry, and sacrifice, or are you consumed by what presents you must buy to keep your friends and children happy? Are you seeking Yahuwah on how you can be used to spread the good news at every opportunity, or scrutinizing the TV so you can absorb the trash on Hell Vision during your holiday break?